You're doing something every single night, and it's quietly keeping your blood sugar high at night. And the worst part, you probably believe it's completely normal, maybe even healthy. This isn't about eating junk food. It's not about obvious sugar. It's about small, repetitive habits inside your night routine, blood sugar pattern that most people never question, because they don't look like a problem. They look like control. They look like discipline, but in reality, they're one of the main reasons behind blood sugar spikes at night, and this is exactly why so many people struggle with nighttime blood sugar without understanding what's actually causing it. They search for answers like how to lower blood sugar at night. They try to fix symptoms, but they never identify the real trigger, because the real trigger doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like a routine. Think about it. Late at night, you're tired, your energy is low. Maybe you're not even that hungry, but something tells you to eat. Something light, something quick, something that feels like part of your routine. And that's where it starts. These late night habits, blood sugar patterns, slowly train your body into a cycle where your glucose rises when it shouldn't, where your body is forced to respond at the wrong time, and where your system never fully resets overnight. That's what leads to high glucose at night, causes most people never connect. And over time, this doesn't just affect your numbers, it affects how you feel. Unstable energy, waking up tired, cravings the next day, and a constant feeling that something is off even when you think you're doing everything right. And here's the truth most people will never realize. It's not one big mistake. It's a small habit, repeated every night. And if you don't see it, you can't fix it. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your routine at night might be affecting your body more than you thought? If that hits you, comment, "This is me," below. Because the people who recognize this early are the ones who actually break the cycle. Now, let's talk about what this actually looks like in real life. Because this is where almost everyone gets caught. It's late, you're tired, your energy is low, and your body starts looking for something quick. Not necessarily a full meal, just something small, something that feels harmless, something that fits into what you believe are good, healthy eating habits. So you go for what seems like the safe option, light snack, something easy, something you've probably eaten dozens of times before without thinking twice. And this is exactly where the pattern begins, because these moments create your night routine. Blood sugar behavior, not one big decision, but small, automatic choices, repeated every night. You don't question it, you don't analyze it. It just becomes part of your routine. And over time, these late night habits, blood sugar patterns, start shaping how your body responds. Not just in that moment, but throughout the entire night. And that's the dangerous part. Because it doesn't feel like a problem. It feels normal and controlled. But behind the scenes, these habits can quietly become some of the biggest triggers for blood sugar spikes at night. And most people never connect it. They think the issue is something else. They blame stress. They blame sleep. They blame their metabolism, without realizing that the real issue is happening right before they go to bed. This is how what raises blood sugar at night often hides in plain sight. Inside routines, inside habits, inside behaviors that feel completely harmless. And when this repeats night after night, it creates a pattern your body starts expecting, a pattern that keeps your nighttime blood sugar elevated when it should be stabilizing. And the longer this continues, the harder it becomes to break. That's why understanding this moment, this exact behavior, is so important. Because this is where change actually begins, right before the habit happens, right before the automatic choice. And if this is making you see your own routine differently right now, take a second and support the video with a like. And if you want to keep understanding how these hidden patterns affect your body and how to fix them, subscribe to Health Insight MD. Because this is exactly what we break down here in a way that actually makes sense and helps you take control. Here's where everything starts to shift. Because this is the part almost no one sees. Most people think the problem is the food itself. Sugar, carbs, calories. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is how these choices interact with your timing, your routine, and your body at night. Because the same food can behave very differently depending on when you eat it. And this is exactly where the biggest mistake happens. You're not just eating. You're eating in a moment when your body is not prepared to handle it the same way. That's how foods that look harmless during the day quietly become foods that spike blood sugar at night. This is what we call hidden sugar foods, not because they look unhealthy, but because in the context of nighttime, they act differently. And most people never question this. They assume that if something fits into their healthy eating habits, it must be safe at any time. But that assumption is what keeps their nighttime blood sugar unstable, because it's not just about the food. It's about the combination of timing, frequency, and repetition. Think about this pattern. You eat something small at night. It feels fine. Nothing dramatic happens. So you repeat it the next day, and the next, and the next. This is how a behavior becomes a night routine blood sugar pattern, and over time, that pattern turns into consistent blood sugar spikes at night, even if you never notice them directly, even if you don't measure them, even if you feel like you're doing everything right. This is why so many people keep asking why blood sugar stays high at night, without realizing that the answer is already built into their routine. Because the body doesn't just respond to what you eat. It responds to patterns. And once those patterns are established, your system starts expecting them. This is how what raises blood sugar at night becomes invisible. It hides inside consistency, inside repetition, inside habits that feel normal. And this is also how long-term issues begin to develop. Not from extreme behavior, but from small, repeated actions that slowly affect your blood sugar control at night. And the most dangerous part, because it doesn't feel like a mistake, you don't try to fix it, which means it continues, night after night, without interruption, until the effects start showing up in ways you can no longer ignore. Now, let's go deeper. Because this is the part that makes everything click. What you do at night doesn't just stay outside your body. It triggers a full internal response, and most people never realize it. When you eat something in the evening, your body reacts immediately. Your blood glucose rises. This is the beginning of a blood sugar spike at night. Then your body releases insulin to manage it. But here's the problem. At night, the system doesn't behave the same way it does during the day. Because your internal rhythm is slowing down. And that's when things start to shift. Instead of a smooth balance, you get a rise and fall pattern, up, then down, and sometimes down to fast. This instability is what creates sleep and blood sugar levels disruption. You might fall asleep normally, but your body is still working in the background, still trying to process what you ate, still trying to stabilize glucose. And this hidden process is exactly what affects your recovery overnight. Because when your nighttime blood sugar is unstable, your body doesn't fully enter deep restoration mode. That's why many people wake up feeling tired, even after enough sleep. And the next morning, the effects continue. Cravings, low energy, brain fog, and that feeling that your body didn't fully recover. This is not random. It's the result of repeated night routine blood sugar patterns, and it's often triggered by simple choices that seemed harmless at the time. But the key point here is this. The body doesn't ignore these spikes. It responds to every single one, even small ones, especially at night, when your system is more sensitive. And if this pattern continues, it can slowly affect your long-term blood sugar control at night, without obvious warning signs. No pain, no sudden alert, just gradual changes in how you feel every day. That's why understanding this process is so important. Because once you see what's happening inside your body, you stop looking at night, eating the same way. Here's something most people completely misunderstand. They think their body reacts the same way all day long, but it does n single quotes t night. Everything changes. Your body enters a different biological state, and this is where the real problem behind nighttime blood sugar becomes much more serious, because your metabolism slows down. This is called nighttime metabolism slowdown, and it affects how your body processes everything you eat. During the day, your system is more active, your muscles are moving, your energy demand is higher, your insulin response is stronger and more efficient. But at night, your body is preparing for rest, not for processing energy spikes. So when you eat during this window, even small amounts, the impact is completely different. This is why the same food that feels harmless during the day can become a trigger for blood sugar spikes at night. It's not just what you eat, it's the biological timing mismatch, and this is where insulin sensitivity becomes critical. At night, insulin sensitivity naturally decreases, meaning your body doesn't handle glucose as efficiently. This increases the risk of high glucose at night, causes that people don't even notice happening, and because of that, your blood sugar control at night becomes more fragile. Even healthy habits can suddenly behave differently. This is where many people get confused. They think, I didn't eat anything bad. But the issue isn't just the food quality, it's the environment your body is in. And this is also why what raises blood sugar at night is not always obvious. It can be something simple, a snack, a late meal, or even something labeled as healthy inside your healthy eating habits. But at night, your body interprets it differently, and if this continues regularly, it reinforces night routine blood sugar instability, which over time leads to more frequent blood sugar spikes at night, not because of one mistake, but because of repeated timing mismatch. And that's the key insight most people never realize. It's not about perfection. It's about timing and consistency. Now, everything comes down to this, because once you understand what's happening, there are only two paths you can take. One is to ignore it and keep repeating the same night routine blood sugar habits. The other is to become aware and start making small but powerful changes. And here's the truth most people miss. You don't need extreme diets. You don't need complicated rules. You don't need to eliminate everything you enjoy. What you need is awareness of timing, patterns, and consistency. Because most blood sugar spikes at night don't come from one bad decision. They come from repeated small habits that slowly build up over time. And once you see that, everything becomes easier to adjust. For example, simple changes in your late night habits, blood sugar routine can already make a big difference. Eating early, reducing unnecessary late night snacking, choosing lower impact options when you are actually hungry. These are not extreme actions, but they directly improve your blood sugar control at night, and over time, they help stabilize your nighttime blood sugar patterns, which means better sleep, more stable energy, and fewer blood sugar crash symptoms the next day. But here's the most important part. This is not about being perfect one night. It's about consistency over time, because your body responds to patterns, not intentions. And every small improvement you make at night is a signal to your body that things are changing, that your system doesn't need to stay stuck in the same cycle of high glucose at night causes, that your metabolism can actually reset. And this is where real transformation starts, not in extreme actions, but in simple awareness applied every night. And if you're still here watching this, it means something in this message made sense to you, something connected, and that already puts you ahead of most people who never even think about this pattern. Because now, you don't just see food, you see timing, you see behavior, you see impact, and that changes everything. If this helped you understand your body better, subscribe to Health Insight MD, because this is exactly what we focus on here. Real patterns behind metabolic health, explained in a simple way. you can actually use, and if you made it all the way to the end. Comment, I understand now, so I know you're part of the group that actually pays attention and applies what they learn. If this made sense, leave a like on the video too. It helps more people discover how to improve their nighttime blood sugar control naturally. And before you go, continue watching the next video on the channel. It will help you go even deeper into how small daily habits affect your metabolism and energy levels.